Alright, here we go. What you guys all will need for your Scourge Warlocks. I'm right now using the Crawl of the Dead. Not really what I really want to be using, but it's better than what I'm using. What I do want for my headpiece is going to be Enraven. But that's after I do a few runs of CR. I haven't done enough of that yet. I haven't even gotten into that. But this is the one I want. It only takes away 1600 in deflection. I'm after it for stats, nothing else. However, the equip power is very nice. When your health is 50% or more, your crit strike is increased by 1500. I really don't need crit strike. When your health is below 50%, lifesteal is increased by 2000. That's nice. I still don't need that either, but I'm after it for the stats purpose only. That extra power and that extra little bit of crit. I don't need much crit. And I'll show you that here later in the video. Anyways, on to next. The body is the Hag's Rags. You want this for your range power for 3% more damage. Anytime you do percent of damage, it's always going to be better than stats. So, even though the Hag's Rags came from this mod, which the stats are pretty nice, ain't too bad. So, I'll inspect it. As you can see, I got it transmuted and all that, so don't worry about all that. You can see I got reinforcements kits on it that give me an extra crit and some total item level. You don't have to have it, but it does. It is nice to have. You can see the equip power. Don't look at the defense slots. I will get into those in a little bit. But you can see the equip power for it. Okay. Next is the Jaw Dripper. The gloves. Your encounter powers do 3% more damage. Again, 3% is always better than any stat. But the stats on it are somewhat nice. So we'll get in, I'll inspect that for you. Next is the Primal Typical? Something like that. Anyways, it's the Primal main hand and offhand. These are kind of self-explanatory. You can almost see the equip power from here. Same with here. Now, what I did a little different on mine is we're going to go into manage artifact powers. No pity, no mercy is what we like to be using. It takes away our dot damage. Companion influence is what I'm using because it's the only thing I'm lacking a little bit in. Like if you can go into like combat advantage, some people do, or AP games, some people do. I really don't care. You can see my combat advantage is maxed out. That was at one point when I didn't have the combat advantage. Now that I have too much of it, I had to shred some of it. So I threw it into companion influence. Now if you don't have enough combat advantage because of your artifacts, like right here, combat advantage. Yeah, I shredded it from here as well because I still had far too much because of my boons. I had several different stats. Oh my god. 1 second. Alright, sorry, my brother stepped in the house. Anyways, back to what I was showing. Uh, Heals of Fury. The reason I go with this, we do have some melee powers, not very many. We rarely use them. However, I did this for stats because I'm lacking in stats. The other ones for your feet, and we'll inspect these. As you can see, what they do and whatnot. Now, a lot of people are using knees. I don't recommend it because you're never going to be standing still. So it's pointless to even have these. I think they're a waste. That's no, it's not here. It's this. No, it's in here. No, it's not. Oh, here it is. Yeah, these right here, the enduring boots. When your stamina is full, your damage is increased by 3%. Okay, if you know your Scourge Warlock, you know that your stamina is never full. The only way this would ever happen is if you get into a super group that can literally protect you and you don't have to move around the room. How often does that happen? Very little. So, these would be beneficial if you could just stand there and not have to move. But I like to move around the room. So, these, not gonna help. Not gonna work. So, back to my character. This is the Demogorgon set. The neck, the waist, and the artifact. These are the best in slot for us because if you read what it says, deal up to additional 20% more damage based on the difference in hit point percentage between the player and target. Now, what you're missing here on this thing is if you're at full health and as the enemy's health goes down, the higher that damage goes up to. I think it gets up to like 11% to be truthful. I'm not 100% sure on that. There is a Scourge Warlock group. They know the numbers. They have the mathematics. I don't get into all that. I know what works by playing around with the builds. I take their builds and I play with them. I have extra slots and gives me a chance to see what is working, what isn't working. Alright, these rings here are nice. I don't have any +5s yet. If I could get 2 more +4s, I would put these both on my companion because they do not affect my companion. So they will still work on my companion. So, those are the 2 rings. As you can see, when your health is greater than 85%, your power is increased by 800. If you get the +5, that's 1,000 power. And then if you got this one here at +5, it's 2.5% more damage. Then there's the upper primal pants and the pants of the Chilton merchant. I did these for stat purpose. Yeah, I mean, the primals don't really give you anything but run speed. Really, we don't need run speed. We got Shadow Slip. So, lifesteal, I went with that, because you gain 15 extra for each percentage of health you're missing. Alright, now, let's go ahead and get into the enchantments. The head's not going to really matter too much, but it's Quartermaster. I know. It's pretty. Anyways, on to the next. The body. Managed enchantments is going to be a demonic. Some people use radiance, so they get more hit points. I like that little extra deflection and lifesteal in my build. Bark Shield on apparel. Bark Shield is a saver for me. I've used Bark Shield since the beginning. I've played with some of the others. I do not like them. I do not like negation. It doesn't fit me. Now, you might be different. It all depends on your playstyle. But this here protects me. So, every 6 seconds, your armor receives a charge of Boast Bark up to a maximum of 4 charges, and those are the 4 charges. So that's how much damage they have to do to you before they tear one bark off. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. All you got to do is step out of battle, and that resets. So, say if you do, someone does, so a boss does 28,000 damage to you, just step away from him. Get the aggro off you real quick, and then walk back in. Now you got that 28,000 all over again. You have all that still. So, that's a little thing that a lot of people don't know, and that's hence why I move around the room. I'm always shadow slipping, so those enduring boots, no good. Another quartermaster for my arms, because it's the utility slot. I use these just to get extra bags. These bags I use for upgrading my guild for surplus, or I'll open them up on double refinement day and use them and shred them up for RP. Now here I have it, it's not even, but I have a brutal 14 here on a pair of Fey Touch. Fey Touch is best in slot for us. You can basically read what it says, what it does. You deal an additional 29% of weapon damage as physical damage with your powers. Also, your encounter powers siphon away 20% of your target's damage. This damage is converted into 20% more damage for you. This effect is 3 target AoE, lasts for 20 seconds, may only happen every 20 seconds. Basically, every 20 seconds you're getting this. I went with the Hellish Rebuke for increased damage by 12% for its artifact power. Again, for demonic, I used it for the armor pen so I could get a little more armor pen, but it comes with a little extra crit and power. The book. I got radiant and power for more power to give me that. Demonic for its health and deflection and lifesteal. These are the artifacts. This is the one that should be in your slot. When you activate it, the target takes an additional 50%. Now, if you know how our Scourge Warlocks work, is anytime we attack one target, we're attacking multiple targets with our AoE build. Even our Fury straight burn build, even without the AoE build, it still attacks others. So this here is nice to have because it's branching that off from the main to the other. So they're taking a percentage in a kind of way. I don't know the numbers. Like I said, you'll have to go to Facebook if you want to know more. Now, up to these enchantments on the neck. Quartermaster, demonic, but you know now why I do. Radiant, radiant, more power. Brutal, brutal. And then here it's Dragon Horde 13. Ooh, I have a 13 in my group. Ew. I don't remember doing that. I'm gonna have to upgrade that. Alright, Wicked for HP and deflection. I was lacking a little deflection and lacking a little bit in health, so I gave that. I could go more health and over deflection. It really doesn't matter. This is the only enchantment I had laying around, so I just threw it on. Probably trade it off for another demonic or radiant and put it in slot there. It's all up to you. The shirt, you can see it's a radiant, and then in the trousers, it's a demonic. Now, if you look at my stats, at what I'm doing, this is just me as I stand without the companion proccing me up. Okay. Powers, that's all on you. How you want to set everything up. I recommend using Flames Empowerment as an active, and I also recommend No Pity, No Mercy. As you can see, it takes away our dot damage. Feats, this is my feat path for this build. This is my straight damage, plus it has a little bit of an AoE kick to it. A lot of people will go with Daughter's Promise, which I don't understand. And as you can see, now boons. My guild boons are guild boons. Lifesteal and Revive Sickness. Now when we get to Guild Hall 9, I'll be opening up this right here, the XP, which then will turn into this, the power boon. So here's my boons: power, crit, action, straight across the board. Dread, power, lifesteal, resistance. What is that? Deal up to 2,000 damage and necro damage. And then this one, when you get it right to reach a stack of 50 in Madness, which those stacks come quick, but you just don't realize it, but they do. So that's that. Icewind, combat, stamina, crit, power base. Now when you go to Facebook, a lot of their stats are going to be set up almost identical to mine. There will be some that will be different, and I'll show you where the difference is. As you can see, basically everything is based off of crit, lifesteal, anything you can make yourself better. This will add to your stats. This area right here is the difference, and I understand why a lot of people do it, but I don't get into. I can get into those super groups. You guys can't. I normally run with you guys that are, you know, not as the guild, like the Guild Hall 20s, where they have great builds. So I go with this build right here, lifesteal, stamina. I gain 2,000 more recovery. Most people will go with this boon over this boon, but I need that extra little bit more recovery. I don't really need that as much. HP, a lot of people go with, I think, this one over this one. I like that a little extra HP under my belt when I'm in with a paladin. When you deflect an attack, you deal up to 5,000 damage. This one here, no one picks. They go with all three here. Well, you know, if I'm in a group that can't really handle it, why not have a little extra oomph when I get hit? So that's where that comes into play. And then if you look at my deflection, all my stats, when we go to into battle, you'll notice why I go with this. Oh, no, I don't want to go to companion yet. Yeah, we're still here. Alright. Some will go with this here. It helps the group. I go with this here because I do a lot of soloing in dungeons, so I'm more for myself in a way. But I still have it set up on my feats, where I give the damage resistance to everyone against the enemy, so that's a benefit for everyone. A lot of people don't do that one. You gain 2% extra crit severity. And I've been disconnected. What? What just happened? Are you kidding me?